All right, let's go. For those of you who held strong through the massive sell-off, you will now see a new achievement when you log into your crypto portfolio. You have achieved Diamond Ball status. For the past couple of weeks, waking up every morning was like, I officially changed my portfolio's pronouns to was and were. On Tuesday night, my wife actually told me this, and I said, "You've obviously never heard of XRP.
You're down 95%. Have you ever considered selling?"
No, I can't. That's no.
But through all the drama, the waiting for a reversal, possibly having to go to Web3 Plaza, ordering the necessary supplies on Amazon, is it possible that we have actually just witnessed a generational bottom? So we got lots to talk about.
I think the markets are going to soar.
We'll look at all the target price levels for both XRP and Bitcoin.
That fundamental notion of agency, I think, is important.
Markets may be down, but it feels like the vibes are up. Take a look at this. Ripple lawsuit news. Will Ripple strike a deal with the SEC or accept the ruling? This article is linked below, but to summarize, the Ripple vs. SEC lawsuit is nearing its most critical point, with settlement talks intensifying. Ellie Tourette suggests a deal is close, though unresolved issues remain, mainly having to do with the $125 million fine being assessed to Ripple. And we see this from attorney Freddie Riz on X. Although there is no formal reason requiring it, it is reasonable to speculate that the SEC vs. Ripple case is resolved, or at least something significant happens before Ripple's filing deadline of April 16th, 2025. And while most people believe that a positive outcome for Ripple will translate to a positive correlation for the price of XRP, what we normally see is that the price increase is normally baked in prior to these highly anticipated events that generally turn out to be sell the news. Personally, I thought being tired of winning was gonna feel a lot better than this, but we must respect the steps that we have to take in order to win.
We're gonna win so much, you may even get tired of winning.
And the other big news that I think has gone a little bit under the radar is this. A post from attorney Jeremy Hogan discussing the Genius Act, which is a US stablecoin bill set for a Senate vote as I'm making this video. Attorney Jeremy highlights the act's stringent requirements, including freezing and burning capabilities for RLUSD and USDC on blockchains like the XRP Ledger and Ethereum. He goes on to say that the bill favors US-issued stablecoins, potentially impacting foreign ones, and aims to integrate stablecoins with traditional finance, also raising questions about technical compliance and market implications. And while those questions will be difficult to answer, other questions are kind of a no-brainer. All right, let's take a look at some XRP target price levels. And we'll start right here with the XRP weekly chart. This hidden bullish divergence is still in play and has not been negated yet, as XRP stayed above $2.09 on the weekly time frame. However, if the stochastic RSI stays below this 20 level, which is this green line here, you should expect to see this orange box to get hit. And this would be an excellent buying or DCA opportunity. And we have been talking about this orange box for months now. This is made up of the 0.618 and the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement levels, which correspond to between $1.11 and $1.60. And we'll take a look at some more price targets here in just a minute. But first, let's take a look at some other top headlines.
How about no tax on tips? How about no tax on overtime? How about no Social Security? How about all those things? These are the kind of thoughts that will change America. I know what his goal is. No tax for anybody who makes less than $150,000 a year. That's his goal.
From Cointelegraph, Ripple and XRP secures approval from Dubai's financial regulator to offer crypto payments and services in the UAE. Rumble embraces Trump-era crypto strategy with $17 million Bitcoin purchase.
And I want to tell you, there's tremendous optimism out there about our country in terms of regulations being cut, in terms of taxes being cut.
And haters will say this is fake.
Listen, Michael, let me tell you how this works. I do it. I dump the markets, big dump, everyone's crying. And I start the recession fears, total fear. The media eats it up. Then I cut the rates I tell them to. And boom, everything goes up. Stocks, Bitcoin, everything. And guess what? I buy the bottom. I always buy the bottom. Then I say, let's pivot. And the bull market begins. It's beautiful. I run the whole thing. They don't want you to know that, but I just told you. You're welcome.
And if we take a look at some more price action, after months of patiently waiting, Bitcoin finally filled 100% of the CME gap. We need to keep in mind that there is also a gap at the 84,790 level, which almost filled and may get filled before we can determine where we're headed next. If the gap gets filled and we head higher, expect this 92,700 level, which is this white trend line here, to be the next resistance level that Bitcoin must break. Currently, there is a potential bullish divergence on the daily chart when comparing RSI with the price. However, if the RSI closes below this 30.90 level on the daily close, this will negate the bullish divergence. It's also important we pay attention to the stochastic RSI. If both lines cross below this 20 level, which is this red line, and stay below it, you would expect that this orange box will get hit, made up of the 0.618 and the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement levels between 65,000 and about 74,700-ish. And if we take another look at the XRP weekly chart, we already took a look at some of the levels if XRP continues to fall further. But if we look at the other direction, the first area to look at is this $3.37 level. This is serving as the local top as of now, and it also corresponds with the measured move from when XRP broke out of this 7-year triangle pattern late last year. This level may not be so easy to break through, but if XRP is able to break through this resistance and turn it into new support, then we would look at these fib extension levels up here, with the first one, the 2.0 fib extension level, which also sits at the psychological level of $4. I would expect that once XRP does reach this level, that you will see some profit taking here, regardless if it's the top or not. So you know I'll be watching, and I'll keep you updated with any new information. We need to not be so hard on ourselves if we bought at the top. Just stick to the plan, and everything will be fine. Some people only see the bad in every situation, while others look at each other knowing they just got a 50% discount. And we'll close with a story with one of the best to ever tell stories, the incomparable Norm Macdonald.
My wife went into a coma, and the doctor said to me, there's one way to wake her up, but it's a little unconventional. You go in there and you have oral sex with her. I said, by God. He says, I've seen it work. I said, well, I'm willing to try. So I go in there, I'm in there about 5 minutes, and I come out. I said, Doc, she's choking.
So no matter how bad things get, don't choke. And if you have a couple more minutes, you may also like this video right here, what to do if XRP drops to $1. Until the next time, be safe.